Thanks for clicking and watching this video. Today's video is just me detailing a car and my thoughts and the process that goes in my mind when I'm detailing a car. Now, in this black RX 350, I'm always checking out every single car I do to see if it needs any special attention and really how dirty it is and what kind of products I need to clean a vehicle. I always try to wash my cars indoors because trying to beat out the sun is always an issue. Time is never on your side when you're trying to do the right thing and clean a car the right way. Now we're in the middle of summer and I'll always rinse off the car to get any of the big stuff off. This car really didn't have anything huge coming off of it. But this water helps cool down the car from when it was sitting in the sun earlier. You'll see on the floor there's already some dirt coming off, like brick dust and other road debris, just from the tires and the wheel wells. So this again just kind of cools down the car, and before I even start washing the wheels, you gotta wear gloves, everybody. The chemicals are not necessarily skin friendly, so you want to wear some rubber gloves. I get mine from Harbor Freight. They come in a nice size box. So here we are, big on back safety, so make sure you use a nice quality rolling cart to get yourself in and around all four tires. I typically spend a solid anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes per wheel to get them clean. Using quality products. Right now I'm using Adams wheel and tire cleaner. I've been using all sorts of different chemicals for wheels and tires for years, and I finally found one that does it all, in my personal opinion. And this has been a search for 10 years. And here we are. Note the product is purple in the bottle, and you can see it's already working. I haven't done any agitation. And here we go. It's already turning black or brown. So it was purple, now it's black or brown. And now we're going to get into the wheel cleaning. So I'm using my tire brush to spread the product initially and get down into the grooves in between all the lettering and the ribbing in this particular tire to get it ready for the last step of this detail process. So we're just going to go all the way around the wheel a couple times and really scrub that wheel down. You'll notice in my arsenal of products, I also get into the lug nuts with a specific detail brush. And from there, I have a large boar's head, like car washing mop that I never ever use on paint, but I will use it on tires and wheels to give me that nice big swath of cleaning. And I'll get back into my detail brush for the corners and the little bits and nooks and crannies. Whereas now I'm using, I guess you would call it, my barrel brush to get all the way further into the wheel, especially when you have tiny spokes like this to get into the more tiny crevices. And also you can kind of tuck in between or underneath the brake caliper and the barrel of the wheel. So this is definitely easily a 5 to 10 minute project per wheel. And I'll hit it again one more time with my boar's head brush to really get as much as I possibly can. I love these buckets, by the way, on wheels. These are 2.5 gallon buckets because I don't need a 5 gallon bucket to wash a car. Here we go. We're just gonna rinse off the tires, and you can see all the crud just from one wheel. And you'll also notice before, a second ago, you saw those, you can see them right here, the tire chalks. Well, they're not really chalks, but they're really for hoses. And I'm kind of pointing out to you right now all the bug splatter that this car has on it, and I definitely want to pay attention to that bug splatter. So we'll go down the rest of the car, and you can't see it, but I kind of ran my hand over the paint a little bit. So I'm trying to decide what I'm going to use here. But here is my Chemical Guys foam Canon auto wash, along with my Adams actual foam Canon, and you can see those red little sliders for the hose. Here's my Decon iron remover for all the stuff that you can't see. Another way to chemically remove road grime and road debris that's been really baked on and stuck on to especially the side panels of the vehicle. And let me look through my chemicals here. I cannot wait to really finish my garage, and I'll show that in another video one day. I'm gonna really organize this garage and make it perfect. I'll pull out some bug and tar remover. So far to date, this stuff by Turtle Wax has worked the best over time. So I'm just gonna spray liberally all over the front end of the car, give it some time to dwell, and just blast off what I can with the pressure washer, because I don't want to use a full brush on this, not even a brush, but like a nice pad or cleaning pad to do this, because I don't want to induce any scratching. And here I am on the side of the car, the driver's side and the passenger side. I'm gonna hit it with some decon, some iron remover to remove, again, chemically all the bonded stuff that hits the car, that's in the air, that just sits there and lays on top. Because even after you wash a car, when you rub your hand or glide your hand against a car that hasn't been recently detailed, you're going to feel a ton of, it's almost going to feel like sandpaper, the amount of stuff that just gets embedded into the paint. So I'm going to use this decon remover, iron remover, and liberally put it all over the car. Notice I'm doing on huge swaths of the car only because I'm indoors. You never, ever, ever by any means use this product in direct sunlight or whenever the paint is too warm. It's got to be as cool as possible, as well as the ambient temperature, because you do not want it to not just dwell, but you want it to dwell, but you don't want it to dry off. And here I am gonna hit it with a pressure washer to remove as much as I can. It's a black car, so unfortunately you can't see it, but with a decon iron remover, as it chemically reacts to the deposits on the car, it would actually turn purple as it slowly fades off the paint. So I'm just gonna hit it with the pressure washer and rinse it off. All right, so here we are with my Adams foam cannon, which is my newest, latest product. I did have a different, I think it was a Chemical Guys cannon, which was fine. However, I had to change it over because I want to try something new, and this wide body mouth makes it much easier to add product to the container. So let's get ready and start to foam the car. I forgot to put the camera up, so take a second here and I'll move the camera up so you can see what I'm doing. And here we're foaming the car with the Chemical Guys. This stuff still smells great. It smells like watermelon. This foam, and what the foam is going to do is going to dwell on the paint and help to break down what's already on the surface of the car before I start to manually agitate with my buckets of car wash. We're going to go all the way around the car and hit every angle that I can with this foam cannon. Love this stuff. Again, in washing cars indoors or detailing cars indoors, it's so much better than working outside. So here we go, all foamy goodness. And before I hit it with my wash mitt, I am going to take my Boar's Head detail brush and hit all of the small nooks and crannies of the car that a foam washing mitt, be it microfiber or lamb's wool, whatever you happen to like, that is just not conceivable to wash all of these small nooks and crannies with a washing mitt. So I'm always going through the front end of the car and hitting all those spots that a wash mitt just isn't going to get. Especially in these corners by the side mirrors, you'll see here around those nooks and crannies. You're never going to get into really a good clean with a wash mitt in those nooks and crannies, and right around the door handle. So that's 4 door handles, so that we're going to go all the way around. I won't bore you with every single door handle. However, we're going to hit the back and hit those emblems that never ever get washed. I don't care who you are, unless you're using a fine brush, you're never going to get all the way in. Love, love, love my platform step riser. I used to use just a simple step ladder. This is so much easier when I'm detailing larger cars, SUVs, so I can go front to back and do the least amount of moving as possible in terms of a step ladder. The platform is the way to go. Got mine at Home Depot. I think I got it during a Black Friday deal, so it was something I've been wanting for a long time. I finally got it. And now as we wash every section of the car we're going to rinse off with the pressure washer. Notice I do have 2 buckets when I'm washing a car. You have one clean bucket of fresh suds. The other bucket is just to rinse the pad. So every time I wash a section of the car, I will rinse the wash mitt in the clean bucket before I put it back into the clean washing soap. And you'll also notice throughout this video, I'm going to be flipping that wash mitt back and forth. Typically one side will do the upper portion of the car, I'll flip it, and then I will wash off the bottom portion of the car. Also note, within these 2.5 gallon buckets, which are on rollers, I've been wanting these forever. I finally got them this year. They have grit guards, and with those grit guards, it keeps the grit from being brought back up to the top of the cleaner water, and it just keeps it settled to the very bottom of the bucket. So right now, I think most people don't do this at home. Open up your gas tank door. Let's get some suds in there and really clean it. By cleaning it, break out that fine boar's hair detail brush and get into all the nooks and crannies that a wash mitt will never ever get into. I think that's probably one of the most important things you can do, because that's probably the least cleaned area of the car is in the gas tank, gas cap area. Some reason I really love doing this part of the car because no one ever does it. So let's just hit that with a power washer and get that rinsed out. All right, let's move on and just rinse off the cap. And basically at this point, to hit the rest of the car methodically, always wash top to bottom, flip your wash mitt as you move from the top to the bottom as well, and rinse often the mitt that you're using in the clean bucket with that grit guard. Here's some content of me just rinsing the car. It's very soothing. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I love just pressure washing the cars and really getting all that grime off. Now in this detail, I'm going to do a really simple Meguiar's ceramic type spray on dry wax. Now typically if it was a different kind of car or a different need, I would air dry this car by hitting it with my my vacuum hose on a reverse schedule, on the reverse blow versus on the suction. But in this case, this is a dry spray and dry product. So I just hit the entire car in sections, and you dry it off with a quality microfiber towel. Of course, I'm constantly folding that towel into quarters and then turning every quarter based on sections of the car, and so that way you always have a nice clean side of the towel just going around every section of the car. I do have multiple towels like this. Some are fluffier than others. I happen to love this waffle weave from Meguiar's. I love this product. My Vacuum Made is probably one of my most favorite products that I have in my entire garage. This is my Vacuum Made garage vacuum, made in the USA. Love that fact as well. By the way, all this is changing. That ladder will not be there anymore. So what I'm doing now is I'm going through the entire vehicle and I'm going to blow out every section of the exterior of the car, especially where I know that water typically sits in the car. Because don't you hate it, like when you go to a car wash or you're washing your car at home, you drive off and then all this water gets blown out as you're driving, and it just creates so many water spots, so many like streams of streaks of that dirty water that's stuck in the panels. Well, this is what you're going to do. If you don't have a vacuum cleaner that can do a reverse blow, in this matter, you can use an air compressor if you have the tools. I happen to love my vacuum cleaner. I do have an air compressor, but I prefer to use my Vacuum Made to do this portion. If you don't have those two tools in your arsenal, I would suggest you pull out your leaf blower. You know, if it's electric or gas. Actually, if you have gas, I'd rather you not use it because it could blow some dirty air into your car. But if you have an electric leaf blower, this is where it's going to shine, and use it for more than just blowing out leaves. You can see here how much water comes out of all these nooks and crannies, always in in the B and C pillars and around the tail lights. I'm gonna blow out the lug nuts to help the wheels dry out a little bit faster, and let's blow the tires out to get it ready for the last step of the detail. And in this Lexus RX 350, especially because that the windshield wiper on the rear end is tucked underneath the spoiler, that always pulls in or holds a ton of moisture. So you're gonna wanna blow that out. And then of course you blow out the car from top to bottom in every little crevice, because you see all that water just hanging out. It's gonna just ruin your detail once you drive away. So just blow that all out. That rear end holds a lot of water, and I think that happens in most cars, every car actually, some worse than others. So we'll just continue to do that on this RX 350, which is now very, very clean. Here we go, let's do the other side. I'm just gonna speed this up a little bit because you've pretty much seen it all, but here we go. This is just another angle to see how much there is to do when you're detailing cars, not just doing a quick wash. You want to be, for lack of a term, obsessed about it and get every cranny, because, you know, I like to do things the way I want to do it and not the way other people do it, because sometimes good enough just isn't good enough for me. So what I'm going to do now is, not only am I going to hit the car with all those drips, I want to use a drying aid in this process. Even though it already has a really quick ceramic coat wax on it, I'm going to use a brand new clean microfiber towel using some Adams Quick Detailer as a drying aid, and I'm flipping that towel. It's folded into quarters, so I'm flipping it every panel, or every other panel for that matter, to hit with some Quick Detailer as a drying aid to really make that car super clean. We spent all this time already. Let's take our time and make sure there are no more water spots, no more leaks or drips that can show up once my friend drives away in her clean car. That I don't know if there's ever been hand washed before. I think she just takes it to the detailers that she lives by her apartment, so I'm not really sure, but I did it for her today here in my garage. So we'll just continue to, you know, take your time. You know, I just enjoy it and make sure everything is as neat and clean as possible. Now, when it comes to glass, this is the best trick ever. Ever. It only takes two things: a towel and water. So all I'm doing is I'm taking the red towel in my right hand, and that is damp with water, okay? And I'm just gonna rub over the entire glass panel with water, the wet towel, or red towel in this case. And then in my left hand is a very tight woven glass towel, right? And that's all I'm doing to clean the glass. It's super clean after this process. It's just water and the right towels to get all that stuff off. You do not need to use a Windex or a glass cleaner. Just use a damp towel and a really specific, dry, tight woven glass towel will finish it off. And then depending on the humidity in the air, that little bit of leftover water will just flash off, and you'll have a super clean window or glass. And now for the very last step, again, I'm taking my time, I'm loving on the car. All the paint is as clean as it possibly can for this particular detail and the needs of the moment. And I'm going through with my tire dressing. Now this is more of a water-based tire dressing, is not silicone based, so I will take my time and make sure I get all the product in between the tread marks, in between the lettering, being careful not to touch the wheel, and really getting every inch of that the face of the tire to make sure it drives away beautifully and with no sling. You know, when you get that sling when you go to the car wash, sometimes they use water-based, sometimes they use silicone-based stuff, and the silicone-based stuff is shinier. I prefer more of a matte finish, matte to a semi-gloss finish on my tires, because when you use a silicone-based protectant or dressing on a tire, it can go on a little heavy, and then it just slings up as second you drive away, all over this interior wheel well, all over the side of the car. You just spent, you know, an hour and a half, 2 hours cleaning to make it perfect. So again, I'm gonna go to every single tire and make sure everything is perfectly covered, because I spent the time. I want to make sure those tires look great as the owner drives away in it. And as far as tire dressing applicators, I just go to Walmart and I pick up a bunch of microfiber, really wax applicators, and these work great. And I do wash them. I'll just, after every, you know, I've got a bunch of them, but after every use, I'll throw them into the washing machine. I have a big like laundry basket of shop towels. So here we are. You can see the car is beautiful on just a really great detail-oriented wash with a quick ceramic-based wax by Meguiar's. And don't forget to put that license plate back on. I always take off license plates so they don't get in the way, so I can actually wash behind the plate before the owner drives away. So that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching.